Yeah. I've been on my grind just to live it out. Say what's on your mind just to hear it loud. Everybody knows me, really that's the old me. Going through some changes right here and now. I've been on my grind just to live it out. Say what's on your mind just to hear it loud. Everybody knows me, really that's the old me. Going through some changes.
And we are back with another episode of the Dope Individuals Only podcast. I'm Eric, the host. I'm up here with another dope individual. Please introduce yourself.
Colombian Wil Carrasquilla.
Hey, that's it?
I mean,
Just
that's
straight to the point?
That's it.
You're not going to let them know like all your endeavors?
Nah,
fucking
man,
with you.
nah.
Yo, this is for all you people who don't know. You mind if I tell them
Nah,
who your son is?
I mean, pretty much that's the only way. I mean, at my age bracket, that's where my relevance is. I would say, you know what I mean?
We're like, they're like, oh, now it's clicking, things like that. Okay, so this is DJ Bez Music's father. You know what I mean? This is the goat of all goats.
Oh, and DJ Gamma.
DJ Gama. Oh, I didn't know he DJs.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's what's up. Okay.
And True Optics Photography. Erik Rodriguez, he's in the military now.
Give your shout outs, man.
I mean,
give your
boys,
shout outs.
That's
How
my
old are
thing.
how old are your other two sons?
Gami just turned 16.
Oh, he's young. You got him started young.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Iram turned 24.
Okay, so he's the eldest.
Yeah, he's my oldest.
Okay. How you like having all sons? How you like having all boys?
It's cool, but I've always wanted a girl, so I mean that's why the cool thing about I got a lot of nieces, so I get to like live out, you know, being the cool uncle.
Yeah.
And I could baby them when I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I ain't got no girls, so.
The cool uncle is underrated.
Yeah, the cool thing about having the cool thing though is that he's actually having a girl now.
Who?
Iram.
Oh, okay. So now you got a granddaughter.
Yeah, I got a granddaughter on the way.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
appreciate that.
Is that your first grandchild or just your
First grandchild.
Ooh. My mom, I remember the day my mom found out she was becoming a grandparent. Man, y'all got the easiest fucking job in the world. I think the grandparents get it so easy because you guys get to just spoil and be like, all right, here, I'm done with your child. You take them back now.
Yeah. But it's going to come with its own, because like everybody in my family and a couple of my people is just like telling me, oh, I can't wait. You got all boys, so you don't understand when you have that girl and then now it's your granddaughter. I'm like, I'm going to still be how I am with kids. Like, you know what I mean? I think guidance.
You think you're going to be able to keep the status quo of how you've been doing things?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna be a little bit more laid back, and plus, it's my granddaughter. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be a little bit more.
How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel older? Some people feel older when they realize they're having their first grandchild.
I've been feeling old since 10 years ago. I'm already over that.
Yo, you take such good care of yourself. You look
man.
great, bro. So
I try. I got to keep up with my boy's energy.
How old are you?
42.
Oh, you're young. You're
no. After 43.
43. You just turned 43.
In March.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday.
Good luck.
See, but you're only 43 years old. You're a young you gonna be able to run around with them.
That's the goal.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, shit, that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. So the first thing I wanted to ask was about the music. All right, because you run Solid Ground Music Group. What do you guys do?
Solid Ground Media Group.
Media Group.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So what do you guys do?
I mean, it's evolved. You know, I started the company like the actual stamp of the company was stamped 2006.
Okay.
Back then, I had a recording studio, and it was just like me and my boys. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of them are like my closest friends, which my kids call uncles and stuff. They're artists. You know what I'm saying? They were artists. They make beats. They rap. They do music, and
right.
We started that, and then I also did, you know, through the Solid Ground Entertainment stand, we did a lot of promotions and club promotions like concerts and stuff like that in the city many years back. then when my kids got involved, it kind of basically just turned into what it is currently, which is it's just, different mediums of entertainment as far as like the photography, the DJing.
Yeah, you guys got your hands in everything.
Like we've always, want to get on the production side of things, and we host events and we produce events and we coordinate events, but the bread and butter mostly with that end of the business is like the DJing and photography services before my son left to the Army. And then now we got another guy with our team, which is Berto Montanez.
Shout out.
Yeah, Montanez Photography. That kid's a beast, and we've been working with him for a couple years, and he does the photography end of things.
Okay, so y'all got something that started off real small and just like over the years have been seeing exponential growth. How long have you been running it?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like I still got my 9 to 5. I deliver for FedEx. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm down to 4 days a week instead of my regular 5 days a week because I'm putting
progress.
Yeah, because I'm applying more time to the things I need to do with the business. But it's been, the question was what? How long?
Yeah, how long you guys had like officially?
I say re-officially when we changed it over to Solid Ground Media Group was, I forgot what year that was, but it was around, I don't know, right when Jabez showed interest that the kid wanted to do music.
Yeah, he's been in it. When he told me, what'd he say? Like he had him in the clubs.
Yeah,
at a young age,
he was 12. Yeah, he was 12 when he first like talking about that he wants to DJ. I was like, get out of here.
I mean, it was a different era too. So you got like, this is probably at a time where like the clubs is a little bit more wild than they are today.
Yeah, but it's just just DJing, bro. Like I've been around that my whole life. Like I DJ'd when I was a little kid, but I feel like I didn't get the same push, you know what I'm saying, to really get into it. So I did a couple house parties, and you know what I'm saying, I did a couple like baby showers and parties like when I was younger, like when I was about maybe between, I would say like 10 and like 13.
Okay.
But then after that, you know what I mean? So I know what it entails. Plus we ran a club, we ran a nightclub, we ran a social club. I was in that life. Like I used to party, bro, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like that was my routine. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? So I really didn't want that
for him.
Yeah.
Like for that to be his lifestyle as well.
Yeah. Because it has its pits. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. At what point did you realize like I'm not gonna be able to stop this kid? He's actually passionate about this. He might even have an avenue to take.
I mean, it was never about like stopping him. My thing was when he came to me about it, I just basically broke down I had a couple questions to ask him. He's my son, bro, but I'm a critic.
Right.
I know a lot of DJs. I've been knowing a lot of DJs since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Since I was younger. That was like my scene. You know what I mean? So I was a critic. So even if he's my son, like I asked him questions like, "Yo, why you doing this? Why you doing that?" And when I see that the kid got it, he got it without knowing he got it.
Yeah. Like
he didn't know he got it.
But you seen it because
he had it.
You know what it entails, what it takes.
Yes, correct. And
okay.
Some things are so simple, but yet so complicated for some people. And the kid grasped it really, really quick.
Okay. It's so incredible. When I first met Bez, I mean, now I know he was probably like 17 years old when I met him, but watching him over the 3-year period of growth, man, he's fucking everywhere doing everything, bro. And if like I see the videos of him like y'all carrying the equipment into venues and shit like that, I'm like, yo, you guys are making moves, bro. That's just so impressive to watch, you know, the growth over the past couple years, because when we first met, I don't think y'all were as big, or at least to me, it didn't seem that way.
I mean, the buzz was out there, but you know, I guess maybe not as much. I think now it's still there. I don't know. I just feel like the buzz has always been there. It's a thing like it's kind of how when you see people criticize an artist, or they say, oh, yo, that person ain't doing no more because you're not hearing them on the radio.
Right.
But they're busy.
Yeah. And they doing the shows every week.
Yeah, they're playing, or you don't see them doing shows, or you don't see them doing nothing, but they busy. They doing things. You know what I'm saying? So, like with us, it's just like we've always been very thing about staying in our own lane. Like we do things if we see that it suits the brand, then we do it. If we don't think it suits the brand, I mean, even if there's money involved, we don't do it.
Yeah. So you guys are hella bent on the integrity that y'all.
Yeah,
build,
we try to be like there's certain
some people get hold up by the dollars, like they sacrifice certain things for money.
Nah, I've given up a couple pots just for the fact that I don't want to rock with it. I don't want to be associated with it.
Got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I really. There's a couple times in throughout my years, you know what I mean, coming up, people, yo, why didn't you bust that move? I'm not.
You ever feel like you missed out on good opportunities because of that, or?
I mean, naturally you go through something like that, but I could get over it like really, really quick, man. It's not. I'd rather keep my integrity intact and try to keep it the way I mean. Plus, I'm getting older, man, so I don't see the world the same way I saw it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you guys got energy to see the world a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, it's different.
It's more like a gray area than it is.
Yeah,
so much
for
of
certain
black and
things.
white.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you. So why music though? I mean, you know what the music business entails. You know how it gets real frivolous. It gets real. Everybody want to rub elbows, but nobody really like each other. Why try to go out and branch out and do something in relation to music? You know what I mean?
I mean, music been a part of my life since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad was hardcore into music. I mean, his thing was salsa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I love salsa.
You can dance?
Yeah, I can do all that, bro. Couple drinks in me, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Nah, but since I was little, I got one of my uncles. When we lived in New York, he brought me my first crate of records. You know what I'm saying? Like, he brought it for me, like, cause he was a DJ.
We're talking about vinyl.
Yeah, actual vinyl. Yeah,
Ooh.
vinyl records. And he brought me records. Bro, I was like 4, maybe 5 years old, and I'm here like,
fuck is it?
Yeah, I got the record
this?
player.
Yeah.
I'm starting to play with it. I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So, like, he was a DJ. He ended up working for Sony Music.
Okay.
For many years till they shut down. I think 2008. That's when, you know what I mean, they closed up a lot of the studios. But yeah, it's always been in my family. My mom loves to dance. Anybody that knows my mom, they know, you know what I'm saying, my mom loves dancing. My sisters,
why not
dancing.
Why not the avenue of the music that you came up on? You know what I mean, like Spanish. Why move over to hip hop?
Bro, listen. There was a time I lived in East New York.
Oh,
my mom sometimes didn't let us go outside. Sometimes she did, sometimes she didn't. There was days like you could feel the energy on the block.
Yeah,
you could feel the energy. And one time we was on a fire escape because that was like our little playground. I mean, that's what, like 3 by 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm very
hanging off the side of the building. Yeah. So, and we just there, and I see these dudes just spinning on cardboard boxes, bro. And I was just like, what? And then, it's the music, the energy. Like, when you're young, music is music. You're not thinking about genres or nothing.
Do you like it or not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, and hip-hop, it was just it. Like, you can relate to it. You know what I mean? You live in the neighborhood. You go to the school.
You're seeing all the things.
You're surrounded by the graffiti, by the art. You know what I mean? The art form. And it's always like, and not to say that that's the direction that's all we deal with, but cases.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just always been there,
That's what's up. I've always had this. My mom was a big hip hop fan. Growing up, listening to Pac, Biggie, Nas. You know what I mean? Fucking.
Damn, how old's your mom?
My mom's 45.
Damn, she my age.
Yeah.
I mean, talking to you.
She got 8 grandkids though.
Nah, yeah.
But like hearing these things in the house, like naturally, and then not only that, I like more than hip hop. I like R&B more than hip hop.
Bro, listen, I love hip hop, but I love everything.
I could listen to everything as well. Rock music, country,
remember before hip hop we had soul. You know what I'm saying? We had funk. Like
jazz music,
and
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and lately that's really what I listen. I don't listen to. I mean, hip hop. There's rap music and then there's hip hop.
Yeah. I love to explain that to people.
Bro,
People love to complain about music today, and I'm like, you're not listening to hip hop music. Y'all listening to like a subgenre of what hip hop is. It might have the similar beat or whatever, but like hip hop is about
the culture of hip hop encompasses so much.
Yeah,
there's so many factors involved aside from the elements. That it's not just the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm a hip hop child. You know what I'm saying? Or I grew up in hip hop. But that's not all I listen to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like lately I've been just vibing out to like mostly reggae music. But I'm not talking about like dance hall.
You're talking about
like
reggae.
Yeah. I I'm 42, man. Like I'm on my conscious right now,
I feel you. I fuck with that.
Like,
I fuck with that.
You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang set it off, and then after that it's like the whole world is your oyster.
I can only imagine growing up as a kid in New York City, like when you got all these musical acts coming from the city of New York. You know what I mean? Like New York was like a hub for like the birth of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So coming up in that environment, I can only like imagine like hearing like the new Biggie song drop on the radio.
Listen, speaking of that, the big check it. It was Juicy, right?
Oh shit.
Juicy's the one that took everything off.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he had his first joint, I think, was with it was with a reggae artist. I forgot the name of the track. I got bad memory.
I can't think of it all.
But that was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. I know people won't correct me. But
yeah, drop it below.
I remember when I was out here, I was like, yo.
Watch
I'm sorry. I was already living out here.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think I moved over here. I'm from Allentown, bro. Allentown is where it's at. Like, you know what I mean? But
shout out to the 610.
Yeah. But I lived in New York, and I kept ties with my family out there and stuff. So I used to go out there every summer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 12 years old taking the Peter
bus.
Pan Transbis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the way to 42nd Street, Dolo. You know what I mean? That was what it was.
It was normal.
Yo, I took a trip to New York just to get that record because I heard about the record. I seen it. Where did I see it? No, I haven't seen it yet. My cousin called me. He's like, yo, there's this dude named Biggie, this and that. I was like, whatever. So I went over there. And it was crazy because that day I went. I was probably late in the game when I bought it. But I went and there's a record shop in Brooklyn called Beat Street.
Okay.
It might still be there. But Beat Street, you can go over there, you pick a record. There's always a DJ on deck, and they'll play it for you. Yo, when I heard that record,
he's like, give me that shit.
I hadn't heard it on the radio. I said, yo, he's like, yo, this joint. And I remember my cousin was like, I was like, yo, bro, you crazy? This is going to pop. Do you hear the sound?
Yo.
Do you hear this beat?
The sample, all of it.
And he was like, I remember that day I bought that record. And I had bought Method Man, METHOD, man. I still got them. The actual single records.
Yeah? Yeah. That's what's up. You take care of your shit.
That's why I respect DJs, bro. Them kids, them DJs, them guys, they had to spend money.
Yeah, digging through crates,
you talking about, I'm trying to remember like around back then, but I think it was around $3 a record. Sometimes you pay a little bit more if it had a bonus track or it had the acapella version.
Were you getting whole projects or were you just getting one song? You
were
buying Juicy?
No, just Juicy. That's it.
Wow. So the equivalent of our 99 cents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for one record.
$3.
Yeah. And I bought it because what I used to do, I used to record them on tape and then I would sell them.
Yeah. Making your own little mixtapes.
I remember.
He was a hustler.
Yeah, bro. I remember when Rich Girl came out, that song Rich Girl. It's the reggae joint.
If I was a rich girl.
I had all my sister's friends asking me, yo, can you make me a tape with that song? Make me a tape with that song. I was like, yeah, I got you.
That's what's up. You spend $3, you make your money back. Quick.
Yeah.
So would you one of them like carrying around them big ass boom boxes and shit?
Yo, bro. It's funny you say that. I was actually known for that.
Yeah.
If you pass by my neighborhood back in the day, I would be outside with I had my little Sony joint.
Okay.
I didn't have the big, that was a older era.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got one of those in my crib that we have to get. I'm gonna get it refurbished.
Oh shit.
It's a 70s piece.
Yeah. Nice. That's nice. That you kept that shit in good condition.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Well, my oldest son bought it. He got it somewhere, and he was like, "Yo, Dad, we gotta fix this up." because he's into like relics. Those are relics,
the retro
man.
shit. Yeah,
and it's in now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it wasn't in before, but
I've noticed that. Like, you ever hear like how they say history repeats itself? I noticed that shit so much. Like today, with the fashion. You know what I mean? Like one of the shoes that's back on like any shoe store you go to is the Nike Blazers. You know what the Nike Blazers are?
Yeah.
And when I was in 8th grade, those shoes were huge. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, like, I wonder how many times.
But I bet you didn't pay what you're paying now for them.
No, it's more expensive.
Yeah, that's wrong.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I wonder how many times they just redrop the same shoe. Because when I was in 8th grade, I'm 13 years old. I'm thinking this is the first time these shoes ever came out.
Oh, so then I think the first time was probably like they were probably the 70s, bro.
Probably. I mean, couple years go by. I mean, it's 15 years now, but now they're the shoe that everybody's rocking again. Yeah. And it's just like, this is what I think that people mean. Not so much of like, it's actually, we're just like kind of like living in a cycle, but more so like, you know, things that once grew out of style find their way back some way, shape or form. You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing girls again with bell-bottom jeans on and shit like that.
My son had baggy pants.
Baggy pants, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck is going on? This is when baggy shorts come back. I know something's changing.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you this though: the baggy clothes, like in general, I hope never come back. Yo, bro, when I tell you. When I see myself and how I used to dress, dog, yo, and it was crazy because I remember I didn't want to wear a T-shirt if it didn't go past my elbow.
I used to be like that too.
It was uncomfortable to wear a T-shirt. Like if I had a T-shirt, I was like, yo, that's too short.
I didn't want to see my kneecaps in my shorts.
Yeah, like what?
Now you got niggas showing thigh.
Yo, bro, but you know what? That's what it was back then. Yeah. It's more. I don't know, man. I rather this era. I respect it.
It's funny too, though, because like you think about this era, and then you go back to maybe like close to the 70s.
That's what it was.
Yeah. You know,
look at the ball players.
Yeah.
It was more functional if you really think about it.
It is. You could dribble.
Yeah, you back in the day, running shorts, they was like super short.
Yeah, super short. You just more aerodynamic.
That's facts.
What do you think of the state of music today?
I mean, going off of what you were just talking about, how it comes back, I think we're in an era where there's so much information. Rather, there's enough information out there for people to do research and give a better care of what they're listening to, or rather show it a higher degree of respect. Whether they know this or not, they're just respecting it a little bit more.
You feel like the integrity of music has kind of taken a back seat?
In many cases, yeah. But it's always happened. People act like it's only happening now. It happened back then. I mean, I remember when MC Hammer came out. If you was from the neighborhood, you was from the hood, like
you wasn't listening to that shit.
I mean, you listened to it, but you ain't going outside playing that joint. You know what I mean? Like, music. Like I can sing every word to the joint, you know what I mean, to certain joints, but you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. Certain cultures or certain genres didn't respect when the genre will break over into something else.
Yeah.
And in reality, that's kind of the state. When we were referring to hip hop or music in general.
I'm talking about music in totality.
Okay.
I mean, but
I was talking mostly about hip hop.
Okay,
but
we
can
keep it at hip hop, especially because that's something that we're both a part of.
With hip hop, I feel like there was an era like where they called the ringtone era. The phone, everybody got a phone now.
Soulja Boy.
Yeah. Like everybody got a phone now. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things in culture that shift, and then the powers that be that have the control, and they have these people that they get
the listeners,
and they got the people that do the studies and the research of the psychology of buyers, and you know what I mean. So they know what's gonna work, and that's what shifts everything. That's what makes everything go in a certain direction. And once one thing works, everything got to go in that direction.
Yeah, got to follow. How do you feel about that? Because I see like on Instagram all the time, they'll talk about like if you want your record on the radio to get like actual radio play, it's gonna cost you, let's just say $300,000. I've heard that number multiple times from multiple
in big markets.
Artists. Yeah, in big markets. You
yeah,
know
but
what I mean?
it's not. It's $300,000 like in its totality. It's not like you're cutting a check of $300,000 to the radio.
Okay.
Especially now, like
this is like for like the circuit essentially. You know, is that what
yeah,
you're saying?
yeah.
Okay.
For like a promo campaign type.
Okay.
I mean, but you know, I mean, that's a lot of money. That's like if you. That's like a, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe like an A-list artist putting up that type of bread.
Yeah.
Because
that's
the return's there.
So how do you feel like does that change things for you? Because ultimately it kind of makes it a money game and not a music game anymore. We're not talking about the art anymore. You know, how do you feel about that? Because I think the art is important. You know what I mean? We got a lot of artists out here making quality music.
You're right, but at the end of the day, I think there was a time where we can, and not to say that, you know what I mean, you feel that way, but there was a time where it was justified to say that, you know, it should be different. But does it does it have to be different? I mean, right now we have the mediums available. We have the internet.
I was gonna say, you know
what I'm saying? Like
social and shit like that.
Yeah, like there's really no reason. Like, I mean, if you can't build a fan base, I feel like if as an artist, if you cannot build a fan base, it's either one or two things. Either you're not working hard enough,
or you ain't got it,
or you don't have it to where it needs to be.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing.
It just might not be suitable for you.
Yeah. Or if you realize that, if you got people close enough to you that can tell you the truth, because that's another thing.
Everybody got yes men.
Yeah, like go to people that are not biased. You know what I'm saying? People that you would trust their opinion, and like that's one thing. Sometimes my son be having like, yo, dad, chill. Like when people people come up to me and ask me sometimes, people that I run into, yo, what you think? I give you my honest opinion, and sometimes I check temperatures, and I'm just like, yo, listen, do you really want me to tell you? Like,
do you want the real or do you?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna fake it. Bro, I used to rap.
Right. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like,
I fuck with it.
But it's the truth. Like,
yeah,
bro, if you really want to do this, like, you got to be open to criticism. Obviously, you don't want to hear, if you look at somebody, you're like, but if you know somebody that might know a little thing about music, production, or just, you know, someone that you respect that has some kind of play in the genre.
Yeah.
Then you should take it and reassess. Nobody wants to do that. They just want to just rock out. Their moms like them. Their brothers and sisters like them.
Couple people around the town.
Yeah, a couple people around the town, and half of them probably don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like you, but and again, that's not to say there's also guys that got a lot of talent, but they need some kind of a good team, or they might need. Not necessarily their friends. They might need somebody that's not their friend, somebody that just loves
music,
what they're doing.
Or what they're trying to create.
Yeah, I think that's my bad. I think that's the best way to go. Like, if you could find somebody that loves what you're doing, you're already ahead of the game.
That it's funny. My guy Staffa's not here today. Staffa helps out with the cameras and the audio and shit like that. He does like a lot of the stuff in the background that like I struggle to do, might not have as much time.
Yeah.
Staffa helps me out with that. And it's funny, right? Because the other day we were, you know, brainstorming, chopping it up on the phone, trying to see how we can take things to the next level. And he brought up, we're also talking about maybe putting out another podcast show, but it's totally separate from this. Nothing, no similarities. And he's like, yo, listen. He's like, if we're gonna do this, it's gonna be you and I. He's like, but. He was like, yo, I don't want no yes man shit. Like, if you truly don't agree with something, he's like, don't just go with the flow with it. Say something. Yo, he's like, because amazing. I don't want it to go down the road and then you're like, yo, this ain't what I envisioned. He's like, we don't need none of that. He was like, you know, and I respected the fuck out of it because a lot of motherfuckers they want people that are just gonna agree with them.
Yeah, bro. Because you know what it is? Is that people, there's certain individuals that get the energy from that. They get juiced up from that.
Yeah.
They don't get, So they want people to be like, yeah, all right, bet, let's do that. All right, let's go this direction now. Now let's switch it up.
Yeah.
They want that because they're saying it. But that's bad, bro.
It is.
That is really bad.
Then nobody's really being honest.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, nah.
He said, yeah, nah.
I'd rather not.
How do you, because you're somebody that has a team, how do you cultivate the things that you deem necessary to have a successful unit behind you? You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like this. Like, I just feel like if for me, as in my example, I assist where I'm needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person that, and it goes back to what I was telling you, that is good to get somebody that believes in what you're doing. I'm a type of person that if I believe in what you're doing, I'm going out for it. Like, I really want to, because especially like your man, like, he's not. I mean, maybe he is, but he's helping out. He's helping you out with what he's helping you out with, but he has no concern of sitting in your chair.
Yeah,
so it's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? And like, one of the things I struggled with many years ago when I was working with my own team. You know what I mean? Like, my whole thing was like, yo, I want to support y'all and what y'all doing. But we had, like, conflicting interests. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to go one way, they wanted to go. Luckily, you know what I'm saying, I still love them to death. We still cool to this day. A lot of my peoples. And, but, like, I had it easy. I ain't gonna front, bro, because they were my kids at one point. My kids are young when they first started, so
you got to mold them.
Yeah,
like,
and you kind of got to do what I say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as they got older, they started pulling their weight. I also have to be conscious of that.
And now, like, you got to pull back a little bit.
And when they check me, I got to look at it like, and it's kind of hard because they're my kids. And I'm speaking in my situation. I ain't saying for everybody, but in my situation, I got to look at them. Hold on, what you telling me for like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, but then they got their business hat on.
Yeah.
So if I see a flaw in something that they're pointing out to me, then I'm like, yo, I bet, let's do it.
We can be objective about
it.
Yeah,
and that's the way you should be. So now, in other teams, I think it should be like that. You should, if you could find somebody that's gonna hold you down because they believe in you, they're not looking for the spotlight. They're not waiting for you to shout them out or, you know what I'm saying, give them credit. The credit is in the work.
Right.
The credit is in the product.
Once we build all this up, we all get to shine because we're a part of this.
Correct. And and whoever you're working with as an artist, if they're gonna keep it 100% honest with you, your credit is there. You know what I'm saying?
I fuck with
It'll be applied.
I think building teams is probably the hardest thing a person has to do because nobody does it by themselves.
Hardest. Bro, listen.
Nobody does it by
themselves. That's the reason when we came up. I remember when I was 24 or something, and we was on my man's. We was on. I think we was on Front Street. We was chilling on Front Street. I was in front of my man's crib, and we were there talking. I'm just like, yo, and they was like, yo, what we gonna do with the name, to do the studio and all that? And I was like envisioning something solid, something like ground based, like. My whole mentality behind the name was to come up with something that if the bottom ain't right, everything else is gonna fall
crumble. Yep, the foundation got to be strong.
And that's that's the direction I went when we came up with our name. But people should use the same train of thought when you're moving as a team. You know what I'm saying? You have to start at the bottom and have that strong and pick a right team. And sometimes it's not gonna land. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not gonna be. You didn't make the right choices, but you got to catch that early. Otherwise, it just gets a little complicated.
Yeah, it gets in the way of the progress you are gonna make at some point.
And be honest with your people. You tell them like, listen, like you're cool, we cool, but this is business. What can you bring to the table?
Right. How can you contribute to the overall goal?
Can you alleviate something that I have? A burden of mine or something, a task that I have, and that way I can move faster, or I could tackle more things. If you can't even do that, like,
then you serve no purpose of being
here. And and ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing personal, but
there's nothing wrong with that. And if it's your man's and they keeping it honest, or if it's somebody, they're gonna understand. Some people they're not gonna understand, but then why would you want to carry on a situation with someone in business that is just looking to be around? It's not gonna be a good thing, man.
It's it kind of reminds me of like how back in the day rappers used to come out and they'd have 30 niggas on the stage with them, like a whole entourage.
Yep.
And it's like, and then you hear all these stories 20 years later, and they're like, yeah, I was flat broke. You know, I was paying for this person, I was paying for this person, I was
buying 20 round trip flight tickets,
feeding all these niggas, going to the club with them, popping bottles, you know,
paying all the lodge, all the lodge,
and that shit starts to add up. And then
everything.
I start to sit there. I'm like,
and then the thing is, when you're dealing with people that come, you know what I'm saying, from where we come from, and I mean that as in, you know, from backgrounds where we're minorities, we're low income, and unfortunately, a lot of our people. I mean, unfortunately and fortunately, where a lot of the people we're going to associate with are within the same range. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Financial range.
Right.
Certain people are stuck on the fact that, well, I don't have it, but now I got it because you got it. And you got to catch that early, because what you have is what you have.
You have, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not for everyone.
There was somebody said, it was like, when somebody hit the lottery, the first thing your family members will say is, we're rich.
Yep.
But if I went bankrupt, they were like, you went bankrupt.
Exactly. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. And I was sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, you want to look out for people, especially people that you came up with. But on this bus, not everybody can come. Yeah. There's not enough space for everybody, like you said, especially if you're not contributing to the overall success of what's going on.
And it don't gotta be nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't got nothing to be crazy. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like with my sons, when they're doing their thing, I'm their roadie, I'm their bag man, I'm their assistant, I'm their manager, I'm their, you know what I'm saying? I'm there make you feel good so you could keep rocking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way it's supposed to work. If you're working with an artist, like, somebody or either the team or somebody on the team has to take some kind of the burden.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the way it is. Like, there's times when he goes out, my son goes out of town to DJ or out of state, and he always got somebody there that's gonna drive him to the spot. Why do you need a driver? Oh, because he's about to go stand for 5 hours DJing.
You think he want to have
putting
to deal with
energy
traffic?
into the music? Yeah, but he also got to get his mind right.
Yeah, I was good.
Because as soon as he walks in the door, he wants to give full attention to his craft.
Right.
The moment he walks through that door, he wants to be. How can you do that if you worried about this? I forgot this cable, or I forgot the laptop. I forgot. Like, there's a lot of things involved with that, and it goes with any type of artist or in business. Period. You know what I'm saying? If you want to assist. Play your position.
Yeah,
that's a real term. Yeah.
Everybody, like you said, everybody seems like they want to be the guy. Yeah. The guy. But there's a whole lot of value in the people that are under the guy or standing next to the guy, standing behind the guy. Because, like I said, nobody does it by themselves. The shit's impossible. You know what I mean? Just
that's a good point you made, that nobody does it by themselves. But that's you also have to pick and choose who you work with, because some people think the moment you remove the back line, the moment you remove everything that's behind the curtain, so to speak, is it going to look the same way? And like, for example, with me, I've always prided myself that when I work with someone, or I work with some kind, you know, an organization or some entity with music or like some kind of stage production, like, I take pride that I like to be in the back.
Yeah.
I don't like to grab a mic. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because
I don't do that. I take pride in, and that's.
I was gonna say, there must be a lot of value in that too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the person that kind of got to get all this together, that everybody gets to enjoy it. I got to make sure it runs smoothly.
Yeah.
And then you get to sit back and
enjoy
the show
and
like
see
everybody else,
yes,
and like
that's,
everybody's having a good time.
Yes, and that's the type of vibe. That's the type of people that you need on the team. I pride myself that I am that type of person. I'm the type of person I like to give, because I'm such a fan of the art of the arts.
So you just give them the space to work.
Yes,
And you're like,
work.
I'm
What
here.
do you need?
Yeah.
You need somebody to hold your light. I got you. What you need that I
That's
get
what's
it
up.
because I enjoy that. You know what I'm saying?
And the good thing is too, typically sometimes people get bitter with age. Like, oh, I'm not, I've done that before. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
But you sit here like, I take pride in that, like in just being able to contribute in this way.
Yo, and matter of fact, I was talking to the other day. I think I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about sound guys.
Okay.
Right? And I was telling them, I was like, listen, every time you step on the stage, the first thing you do is go check in with the sound guy. No matter who he is, what he looks like, I don't care if he's already giving you a bad vibe. You go check in with him because that guy is the one that's going to control what comes out of these PAs, out of these speakers or whatever. And they was like, okay. So I started, and then after the thing, we were talking about him, and I was breaking it down to them. I said, listen, a lot of sound guys, they either were DJs, they were musicians, and there was a third one, I forgot. And they're not performing now. So some of them guys are kind of bitter. They're up, you know what I mean? They're
here. They're back here doing your show.
And listen, shout out to all the awesome sound guys.
Facts.
There's a lot of them out there, but you guys know there's some guys out there that just like they just feel some type of way. You know what I mean? So, and it goes to that, like they feel some type of way because they haven't made it. And that you can't be like that, man. Make room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
you picked your spot.
Yeah.
You picked your spot.
Yeah. You landed in it. But it is what it is.
Yeah, you're there.
Like me, I'm At my age, I'm 42, bro. I'm not gonna grab a mic and jump on the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like
that shit.
Let alone jump off a stage. Yeah. Put it like that.
He said landing hurts now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? My knees, bro, my knees.
You
but
ain't that damn old.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it that way.
Nah,
you know what I mean? And
I
I get energized. Like right now, when you told me your mom's age, that got me excited because I'm like, oh, she's my age. And then, how old are you now?
28.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm here talking to you. I think I told you this the first time I met you. I must have looked like a weirdo when I was like all excited to meet you. Do you remember?
I wasn't.
I was
curious to why you were excited.
I was excited when I met you. You're 26, 28?
28.
All right, so I met you, what, 4 years ago? 25. All right.
Yeah.
You're 25 years old, homeowner, business owner. You were running a campaign.
For city council.
For city council. Bro, you know what that is? Like, at least... I get excited when I see I don't mean this in a bad way. Anybody under like 32, I call kids.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? But when I see kids coming up like you and they doing it, they're really doing it. Like making power moves for success, for legacy, for, you know what I mean, prosperity. Like you're setting yourself up so that in 20, 30, 40 years, your life will be easier.
Yeah. Versus
a lot of people where I came up with, we're living the life all the way into our 30s. And I had this conversation with a kid the other day. This was a real kid. He was like 15. We're living our life all the way into our 30s. And I'm talking about living our life as in you get a decent job, you're getting money. You make sure you pay your rent. You're paying your lease. You're paying your vehicle lease. You're paying your finance vehicle. You know what I'm saying? You bar hopping. You buying bottles. You doing this. You doing that.
You acting like a youngin. Like you.
But
moving how youngin.
Yeah, but even still though, as a young, like. You're doing all this, and I'm talking about, and this is obviously a very broad example, like rough example, into your 30s. By the time you over 30, you're hitting 40, you tired.
Fuck yeah.
And now you want to look for the right job.
Yeah, now you got to figure all that shit
now
out.
All the cars you had don't matter.
Yeah.
Now you trying to figure out, like, hold on, why do a carton of eggs cost this now? Yeah. Like, it didn't cost that. A
gallon of milk costs how much?
Yeah, like. You're doing all this now, like, and for you to be where you're at, for you, 28 years old, F that, when I met you, 25, for you to be where you at that time, you was already in that mentality early.
I grew up fucking hard, bro.
All right, so that's my point.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of us that grow up hard and we don't take that route.
Yeah.
So my point is, that's why I got excited. I get excited when I see young people doing what you do.
It's funny. I feel the same way. Like,
when
you
see younger people.
Yeah, when I have Bez up here,
yeah.
And Bez like, nah, I'm only 20. I'm like, you're not even old enough to drink yet. Like, you making the moves that you're making, like just power moves. And since that interview, it's only grown for him. Like, he got the radio show.
Yeah,
you know
and he's we actually do less gigs now than we did. I mean, going back 2 years, like we was doing 4. I'm talking about aside from his regular weekly gigs that he got. They around that time they were ranging between 4 and 5, 6 a week. We still had private gigs 3 to 4 a week. There was a one. Oh my!
That was working,
bro. It got a little out of hand though, because you get, you know what I mean, you get burnt out, and plus when you're working so much, you can't really do nothing with the business.
Yeah. You miss out on a lot of things. A lot of things got to take the back seat to the grind.
A lot.
So that's why I got a lot of respect for you guys as well, because it's hard to do business with family, and then also not let the egos get in the way. And it seems like y'all got a really good balance between all of that. You know,
it takes a lot of work.
I can only
takes a lot of work.
I bet.
A lot of work.
I mean, you sit here telling me like, why are you talking to me? Like, oh, he got business hat on.
Yeah, self-reflection. And plus, at the same time, like, I'll tell you this, like, I've changed. Like, my kids have changed me. You know what I'm saying? I had this conversation. Damn, I'll be... All right, yeah. I know why I be cutting myself off, because I don't want to say no names. Thank you. But I was having a conversation with one of my mans the other day, and that was one thing we tapped in with, and it was how, as our kids get older, like my 16-year-old son, he's my youngest. He's a better version of what I was when I was 16. My 24-year-old son, he's way better than what I was at 24.
At 24, yeah.
My 21-year-old, he's way better than I was at 21.
Would you define that as success? Would you consider that success?
Success, yeah. I mean, yes, yeah. To me already, if I die tomorrow, yes.
You.
If I die, success to me, but not in the sense that it's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes success, because sometimes when you say success, it's like you're there.
But it's not really a destination.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes it feels like that. But like they're better versions. So as they get older, they see the world with a certain lens that has more information. It's kind of like when you know what I'm saying? Like when you a gamer.
Yeah, I play like.
I bet you got all that information on your screen.
Right.
Like when I was, this is the way I look at it. When I was younger, there was no information on the screen. There was people like my mom would, you know what I mean? My pop didn't really. My pop was there, but he grew up hard, so he didn't have conversation for nobody. You know what I mean? Not even me. So my mom, she would be there, but you know they do the best they can because they're in a new country.
They got only the information they got.
And all the time they got is to go to work 2-3 jobs to put food on the table for real. And but so it's like when you see the screen where you game and there's no information. I feel like my kids or people that grow up like them, they have a ton of information. And that's beautiful because if you have the information, you can work better. Yeah. You can pick and choose. You can be a little bit more tactical.
Yeah, where you want to apply it.
Exactly.
Where you want to apply it.
Yeah, you guys also got in the game and you got the little map. And all that. Like when you're young, you think that the world is just what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it has to do with the environment. The environment kind of messes you up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that as you grow up and you see and you live, they really mess you up. And nobody's talking about going to see a shrink. Nobody in the hood is talking about, yo, I'm gonna go take my kid to go see a psychiatrist because he's just seeing something crazy. You just keep it moving.
Yeah.
because they seen crazier stuff. So this is nothing.
It's not.
You know what I mean? What you mean you seen somebody get shot?
Yeah, back in
we seen a guy get butchered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man,
it's different. It's different.
I would say the era is changing a little bit as far as people being more aware of what they're actually going through mentally. I can't ever remember seeing a commercial when I was a kid like how they got the what is it called, self-help. It's an app on your phone you can download and you can get. Or
mental health is an actual term.
It's an actual term. You know what I mean? So like I think the climate is changing, and I think it's changing for the better because
it is, but I still think it has a lot to go. Like it has.
We don't get to put 100 years. I'll just say 100 years. 100 years of pain and trauma passed down from your great grandparents, parents down to you, and just get to dismiss it all off of some progress for the past 2-3 years.
Or racial tensions.
Everything, education,
bro,
wealth distribution. It's a whole long, like, we got a fucking uphill climb to go, but
big one.
Progress.
But the thing is, the more progress we get, the more there's a side that also becomes more radical.
Yeah. Because they don't like the changes. They like
because all they see is what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Right in front of them. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, what do you mean? It's not that much of a big deal.
It is. Life is far more deep than some people would like to give it credit for. Some people act like, oh, like, it is what it is a saying that I stand by, but it is what it is isn't the answer to everything. Like,
bro,
some things.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think as you get older, I'm not gonna say that because I'm not gonna go that deep with it. But
hey, man, I just say what you need to say.
No. Listen, I definitely don't see it like that anymore. Like, I used to see that it is what it is. Now it's it to me. I look. Sometimes I spend too much time looking at certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like
the way I see the world. It's just like there's always something. There's always something deep there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot. And mind you, I got kids, so I'm around people, more youthful people. Yeah. Like, I go into a space, and in many cases, I'm like the oldest guy there. You know what I'm saying? That type of situation. And it's like I see it. I see the reliving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that. And since my kids was young, I always used to break certain things down for them. Everything that I didn't get till I'm in my 30s,
you try to give.
I give it to them early,
because
I had nobody giving it to me. So I put them on game. Like, listen,
you're gonna run into
you're gonna run into this. You're gonna run into that. You gotta learn how to maneuver. You gotta learn how to pick and choose your battles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't take everything from face value.
I tell my son every morning, like, my son will go to the daycare, and one of the kids will piss him off. He'll get on the bus. He's stomping. I'm like, listen, before you get off this bus, you better figure it out. I said, because if not, you're going to wear this move for the rest of the day.
Bro.
You're going to walk into class. You're going to get into it with your teachers, your classmates. They're going to be calling me, and I'm going to be on your ass.
Yo, how old is your son?
He's 9.
Bro.
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. That's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But people,
the earlier the better.
Yeah.
The earlier the better.
Some parents don't do that, and it's sad to say that they don't do that because they never got that.
I say it like this, and I've mentioned this on multiple podcasts already. If I don't do it for my son, if I don't do it for my kids, the law's gonna do it for me later. Whatever they not getting from me, the law's gonna punish them for that. And whatever punishment I got from my children is gonna be far less harsh and with a hell of a lot more love than what they're gonna get from the outside world. You know what I mean? I'm a big person into, like, every once in a while you gotta smack them around a little bit. Sometimes you gotta whoop some ass.
Yo, listen, I'm a very strong believer of that.
I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I don't think for everything. Like, when I was a kid, I used to get my ass whooped for everything.
I think,
but
in
moments, I think it is necessary.
I mean, I just think, especially depending on where you live, your environment. Mm-hmm. I think if you live in some mountain where everything's flowers and beautiful birds,
you might not have to do that.
You might just talk to your kid, and his environment will do the rest for him.
Yep.
But when you live in an environment where, you know what I'm saying, the moment your kid steps out that house,
they got
he doesn't know how to. Yeah,
yep.
He's gonna feel like he's against, the world's against him.
Yep.
You kind of gotta. It's a little. It's different.
It's an uphill different battle. This like I love having conversations with other parents just to see like the similarities, especially like when it's somebody like you where you got a decade and a half on me, and we get to kind of see like, all right, you grew up earlier than I did, but I'm a little bit younger than you today. We both got children.
You're only 4 years older than my oldest son.
Yeah.
So
even that right there. So it's like you kind of get to see how we grow and change as a culture over the years.
Yeah, but the household thing stays the same, man. I just think we have more information now.
I agree.
One thing I told when I got married with my wife, when we was young and we had our first kid, we literally had meetings. You know what I'm saying? Like we literally would sit down and plan, how are we gonna do this? Like you do things different, I do things different. And then we try to pick and choose what we know we're capable of doing, and we said we're gonna go hard with it. And
that's what's up.
Yeah, and I decided, like, from when my first son was born, I decided, like, I'm gonna give wherever my pop lacked is where I'm gonna
focus the most.
Because I felt like that did a lot to me, so I don't want that to miss.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't miss, that gives them there's gonna be something lifted off of them, or something that's never gonna be there
at all. Because you're addressing it right off the rip. Yeah.
And then from there, they're gonna go out into the world, and then you know what I'm saying, with obviously proper guidance and stuff like that. But I think that's the thing that parents gotta do. You kind of gotta address. You gotta address your own things.
Demons.
Like I had, you know what I mean. Truth be told, like it was hard. My oldest son had it the hardest. Like when he was a baby, I was still a baby.
Right.
I'm 19 years old.
It's
bro, I don't know nothing.
Me and my wife joke about this. We're like, the first one.
Yo, bro, they had it the hard.
Like,
yeah, he was the experiment.
It's
I ain't gonna say that. Yo, pop, my bad. He said that. He said that. Yeah, you can say, but your son ain't gonna check you. My son will check me, dog.
Bro, he got an episode on here, bro. He be on my ass. He don't, and that's the one thing like about having a dad like me who gives him as many gems as I can give. Even at 9 years old, the motherfucker is just too smart for his good at this point right now.
Yo, that's how my oldest, listen, when I tell you my oldest, we be somewhere and that kid will start talking. I'm talking about he's like 5, 6, 7. And people be like,
how old is he?
They'll stop and look at him and they'll be like, yo, why is he talking about that? Mm-hmm. My son will break things down like he had a mind, bro, and it was magical. And the things I dealt with him was I had a lot of anger issues when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I had a lot of anger issues growing up. I grew up with anger issues. I becoming, you know what I'm saying? Like, and until you start addressing, going back to mental health, until you start addressing, because that's another thing. People sometimes when you my age, you think, oh, it's too late. I'm stuck in my ways.
Yeah.
Not really.
You can always.
I'd rather change. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you an example that's things that hit home.
We coming up on the time too.
Oh, my bad.
Look at that. No.
We done?
I want to hear this story.
All right, listen.
Okay.
I had my grandfather.
Right.
He passed away many years ago. He had like I said, my pops and his brothers, they had it even tougher. That man didn't apologize because he's dying, taking his last breath.
He didn't apologize?
He didn't apologize till that moment.
Wow.
Like, that man didn't apologize until the moment he's on his deathbed is when he decides that he should apologize to his kids.
Wow. Like, I don't even know how I would feel about that, like if I was his child.
What can you?
I know that's
listen,
what I'm saying.
but this is where it comes. Goes back to where we were at a couple minutes ago. You gotta check that quick. However you feel, you better check it quick because you got kids.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out what moves you're gonna bust with them. Like how are you gonna address whatever you might be going through, whatever you went through. You need to address that
over here now,
because otherwise you're gonna spill it over.
Yep.
And then if you have grandkids, where's that gonna go?
Yep. It's generational trauma. And it's funny, I heard that term years and years ago, but I didn't really understand it until I had my own kids.
Yeah, that's when you feel it. And the one
thing you said, which is so crazy, this is why I think you and I clicked, though, because the one thing you said, I thought about when I was having my first son, and I was thinking about the way what my father did with me. And then you go, I was going to try to do everything I didn't get from him, I was going to try to make sure he had it. Yeah. And that was kind of my mindset, too. I was like, okay, I had 19 years old was when Jason came into the world. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know shit about taking care of no kids, but I didn't have a dad, and I know what I wanted in a dad, so I figured I'd just do all the shit he didn't do.
All the cool things you see in cool dads?
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's been working. It comes with its challenges.
It does. But that's the part. That's the part that parents need to stop getting stuck in their ways. It's okay to tweak it. Tweak change, reassess, you know what I'm saying, and readdress. That's it.
And if you got multiple kids, it's not a one size fits all. That shit that works for
the dynamics is different. Completely. That's a whole nother animal.
Even if they come from the same parents, they two totally different children.
Wait till they get older and they come checking you like, yo, Pop, but you ain't tell him. Yo, Pop, hold on.
Yo,
what?
They do that. But Isaiah, you gave Isaiah ice cream.
Yeah, but just...
I don't owe you no fucking explanation.
Yeah, but you're still at that age. You be like...
it's the little petty shit.
Yeah, exactly. Wait till they get... Yo, listen. It happens, bro. It gets tough. Shit. But that's where it goes back to what I was telling you. As a parent, you got to keep making the choice to evolve.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Because they're going to change. Your children are going to change. Their influences, their likes, their dislikes, everything. And we can't be stuck in our ways as people.
I never want to be that.
This is the way that I am. Like, I got family members that say shit like that. Like, I've always been this way. Yeah, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, if we're all telling you this is an issue because it's an issue for us, so we're telling you this, I don't want to hear this is the way I've always been. You need to fucking continue to grow, or this ain't gonna happen.
Some people are just so comfortable with that. It's too much of a scary situation.
Yeah, whoever don't like it, And I think that's a bad way to live.
Super.
The moment we stop learning is the moment that, honestly, I think we as people start to die.
That's a fact.
I think so. Because at this point, what are you waking up and doing anymore? Like, what are you looking forward to?
I was telling my wife, and I'm on that mindset now as I'm about to have a granddaughter.
You excited?
Yeah, I am, bro. Don't get me started with
the
that,
way you
bro.
Said, I was like,
you know what I'm saying? Got a little baby girl.
Somebody to spoil. Yeah, it's awesome, bro.
Listen,
I guarantee you.
But what I was talking to her about was, like, I want to be that guy. Like, even if I'm, you know what I mean? I can't move no more. I want to be, hopefully I live to 100. That's the dream for everybody. 100. But I want people to still feel like they can come to me for actual advice and wisdom. I don't want to be there like, yo, don't go over there to Pop's crib with he's going to tell you some dumb shit.
Yeah. He just be talking about his, yeah.
And if we look at our own families and our friends.
We all got somebody
We all got people like that.
Giving out.
I ain't going over there because they ain't going to say nothing. Don't ask them. Don't ask her. I don't want to be that. I want people I want to be bothered when it comes to, like, they stuck on something simple, but they were looking for a little bit of wisdom. And I plan to be a little wiser in 5 years.
When that day comes.
In 10 years from now, in 30 years from now. I mean, that should be the goal.
You know what the best part I think for you is going to be out of that entire situation? Like, I understand, like, being able to give, given the gems that you want to, hope to be able to give out, you're going to be sitting with people that can teach you about the world that you currently live in at that time. So just as you're teaching them, bro, you're very well going to be learning.
Yeah. I try to stay in tune as much as possible. Yeah. Sometimes my kids or my nieces, they'll be like, "Yo,
fast though."
Yeah, they be like, "Yo, Theo, what's up with it?" What the fuck is that? What you talking about? What you talking about? And then put me on. Be like, "Oh, I bet." Yeah. Then I go on the low and I do some quick 3-minute research. I'm like, I know what you're talking about.
I'm tapped in.
I know what's going on. But yeah, it's hard, man, because I don't have the same energy.
Yeah.
To do that.
It all comes with the growth process. I feel it. I'm only 28, but I feel it in ways like my son says certain things. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah. Bro? But I'm only 10 years removed from being in high school. Like, it's
only you think it ain't? Yo, that's a lot, dog. In this time and age,
the 10 years flew by.
Yo, but 10 years, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a decent amount of time, but it also, you know what gets me more than saying that is when my son asked me something about when I was in middle school, and I'm like, Jason, that was 16 years ago. And I'm like, that was 16 fucking years ago. It's like one of those.
Yeah.
That's where it hits for me the most, where it's just like, damn, yo.
What grade is he in?
He's in 3rd grade now. I got my daughter's in 1st, he's in 3rd, and my youngest son starts kindergarten next year. So yeah, it flies. But listen, we are at the time. Give out any shout outs. How can the people find you? Yeah, let them know.
Nah, just my IG is Colombian Wil at Gmail. No, wait, it's I don't even know what my IG is. Oh, it's at Colombian Wil, yeah. And then the Solid Ground MG, Solid Ground Entertainment. They're just there. But shout out to Bez Music. Shout out to DJ Gamma. Shout out to True Optics. Shout out to Montanez Photography. Shout out to Montanez Visuals. I probably forgot a whole bunch. But shout out to the people, man. Shout out to you.
Thank you.
Shout out to you, my man. Listen. You listen. You there.
Thank you.
You there. You young. You there.
I'm trying. At the end of the day, I want to be able to leave something behind where it lets people know he was here and he left an imprint on people.
So you gotta leave it in different versions. You gotta leave it in the floppy disk. Because the world ends, bro. You gotta leave the evidence.
I'm
floppy
on my
disc.
Third,
you gotta
throw it
on vinyl. Audio, just the audio.
I do a lot of writing too, so I got 3 notebooks. I'm on my 3rd notebook now. Just my thoughts, words. There's music. There's poetry. There's my most deepest, darkest feelings. All that shit.
I think that should be your next project.
What?
Where it's everything.
Oh, we shall see,
bro.
We shall see.
Listen.
We shall see.
I'm with it. I would love that direction because you're not just gonna do music. You could do music, talk, poetry.
Yeah.
Create a scene.
I just
one of the
finished
tracks.
my 1st book, so I knocked that first one off the list. The music, the podcasting. I hope to write a poetry book someday. So I like I said, I was outside my front porch. And my neighbor came outside. He's like, "What you doing over there rapping?" I was like, "Man, I'm a creative. I do everything." And I started ripping him off. He's like, I fuck with it. So ultimately, man, I got the ability to create, and ultimately that's what I try to do. I try to give people a platform so they can come up here, help me create. You know what I mean? Give people something to take away from what we create, and ultimately hope to push the culture forward. The growth. Ultimately, that's what I'm after. It's just continuous growth. No matter how old I get, you know what I mean? Just grow and learn.
Well, you're leading by example, bro, because a lot of people are going to see you, and I know you're inspiring a lot of people.
Well, thank you. I hope so. And I hope I'm putting out a good example for people. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for listening. Wil, thank you again for coming up here, being a part of what I'm building. Follow the show. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Dope Individuals Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dope Individuals Only Podcast. You can follow us anywhere that podcasts are found. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We are everywhere. Jump in the conversation. Let my man Wil know what you thought of the episode. If y'all got any comments on anything discussed.
Tell me. I don't care. Tell him. I don't really care.
So then tell me.
Let
him
know.
In the comment section.
I'm not into that word, bro. I barely be on IG.
Jump into the conversation. You know what I mean? And thank you guys again. We appreciate you. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you're still amongst the stars. Peace.
Everybody knows me. Really, that's the old me. Going through some changes right here and now. I've been on my grind just to live it out.